black, red, red, black, black, red, black. Ace of spades. Hey guys, my name is Spidey, and welcome to Out of My Mind. In this demonstration of intuition, a spectator deals about a dozen cards from a face-down deck, and you can accurately tell them the color of every single one of those cards. Red, black, red, black. And you can even go as far as revealing the exact identity of the last card. 8 of clubs. Turn it over. Oh, and here's the best part. The deck is borrowed and shuffled by the spectator themselves. This is Out of My Mind. All right, Patrick, so I'm going to do a demonstration with the intuition to demonstrate how powerful the intuition can be with a shuffled deck. So I want you to just reach over and cut about half the cards. Just use your intuition, trust your intuition to cut as close as you can to half the deck. Go ahead. Perfect. Now, I did say that this is a test of intuition. What you don't know is that your intuition is far more advanced than you know. And when I said to you cut half, your intuition takes control and cuts not close to half, but exactly half the cards. 26 is half, right? Let's take a look at how you did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, exactly 26 cards. That's exactly half. The intuition is a very powerful thing. I want you now to take these two packets and riffle shuffle one into the other. Go ahead, just grab these and riffle shuffle one into the other. Perfect, and square it up. Perfect. I'll take that. Excellent. I'm now going to deal 2 piles of 10, because there's 2 of us, so as if we're playing a game where we each get 10 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We only need one of these 2 packs, so we can eliminate one. Put your hand on either one, and take that in your hand. And you could have just as easily picked this one, and you shuffled the deck, so all the cards are thoroughly mixed, correct? Okay. I'm going to use my intuition. I'm going to demonstrate to you what happens when you practice your intuition. I'm going to try to focus in on the color of each card. I'm going to name a color, either black or red. Each time I name one, all you have to do is turn it over and put it down here. And as long as I get it right, we'll just keep going. The first one's black. You could turn it over and put it down. Followed by a black. And then a red. And then black. Red. Red. Black. Red. Black. Okay, with one card remaining, I'm going to try to push this to the limit. I'm going to try to not only name the color, but also the suit. Actually, you know what? I'll try to name the whole card. 8 of clubs. Turn it over. 10 out of 10. Hey guys, welcome to Out of My Mind. I'm very excited to share this project with you guys. Before we start any of the explanations or examine the trick, I want to give a couple of credits and the history on this. I did discover this principle by myself 7 years ago. I had no help. I was trying to figure out a way to do this. And then I came up with this principle. I was extremely amazed. I couldn't believe it. And I ran home and showed a bunch of magicians, and they were all extremely impressed. And then I sent it to Joshua J because, you know, he knows a lot of stuff, and I figured if anyone knows the history on this, he would. Surely enough, he did, and he wrote back to me saying that it is an application of the Gilbreth principle, which some of you may have recognized. At the time, I was unfamiliar with it. I looked into it. Turns out Max Maven has worked out with the Gilbreth principle. It's a principle it's a brilliant principle that has a lot of applications. I've rediscovered an old principle, and I found an application for it that suits me very well, and I hope you guys use it, and here is the explanation for Out of My Mind. To set up this effect, I usually use a Pharaoh shuffle, but if you don't know how to do that, it's fine. The setup is actually quite simple and takes less than a minute. You got to put your deck in alternating order. Red, black, red, black, red, black, all the way through. Now if you have a few mistakes in the middle, it's fine. As long as the top cards and the bottom cards are perfectly alternating, you're good to go. You also have to make sure that the topmost card and bottommost card are of different colors. In this case, the 3 of clubs and the 5 of hearts. You also have to remember those 2 cards. Once you have that, you're ready to go. At this point, they're going to cut the deck themselves in half. Now later on we're going to discuss ways to get it so that they cut exactly 26. That could be a bonus part of the presentation. You're going to use your intuition and cut exactly half. But let's just say right now you put the deck down and they cut half. Now you have a choice. You can do this face up or face down. Some people think, you know, it's cool this way because you're not hiding anything. Some people think it's cool this way because that they won't remember that 3 of clubs at the end. It's completely up to you. So you cut the deck, and now you're going to count the bottom packet, meaning the bottom of a face down deck. So if they cut it this way, you're counting this. If they cut it this way, you're counting that. So let's say they cut here, and I count how many I have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. 1 off, still brilliant. The only reason I've done that is because now I've transferred the perfection to the bottom of each packet, or the top of each packet if it's face down. So my 3 of clubs is here, my 5 of hearts is there, and then this is perfectly alternating. At this point, because of the Gilbreth principle, which I'm not going to get into why it works, it took me months to understand it myself, like just really examining it. Because of this principle right now, and the Gilbreth principle, which is going to be at work, if they mix these 2 packets together, regardless of how good they mix, or how bad, now there's a principle at work, even if that looks thorough. Actually, there's 2 principles at work. First of all, the first card dealt is going to be either the 5 of hearts or the 3 of clubs. No choice, because those were the top 2 cards, so it's got to be one of the 2. I don't really know which one it is. I'm not going to look. I'm going to put it right there, and I'm going to put this one here, okay? So at this point, you're distributing 2 piles of 10. Aside from that, the Gilbreth principle dictates that at this point, whatever color you have here, there's a red one, you have the opposite here, there's a black one. Whatever you have here, that's black, you have the opposite here, that's red. Whatever you get there, red, black, black, red, red, black, black, red. So whatever you get here, you get the exact opposite here. It just works out that way. So you distribute 10 cards, 11 cards, 12 cards, whatever you're comfortable with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's perfect. And you have to force this packet. So a very simple equivoke works at this point. You say, put your hand on either packet. If they put it on this one, great, keep it. Or, put your hand on the packet and hand it to me. So they hand me this. At this point, I spread towards myself, and I try to see if there's an obvious pattern. In this case, there might be. It's red, black, then 2 reds, then alternates all the way. But sometimes there's like a really obvious one, like 6 blacks, 4 reds. If that's the case, you don't show them. You just throw it away. But I'm going to proceed assuming that it's fairly mixed. So I show it here, and I tell them, this is thoroughly random because you mix it. In fact, you mixed the whole deck. What I did there is I noted the top card of this packet. As I spread it here, 3 of hearts. And then when I spread it back, I look for the 3 of hearts, and I work my way outwards, naming the opposite color. So here we see the 3 of hearts. Now, it's important to not do this. Okay, I'm going to concentrate now. Black, red, black, black, red, black. Don't do that. Kind of get a glimpse, memorize 3 or 4, so now I know it's black, red, black, black, and kind of concentrate. Don't look down at the deck. This is just supposed to be you demonstrated that it's well mixed. So that's black, because it's the opposite of this one, then red, then black, black, see black, black. Then it alternates all the way out, starting with red. Red, black. I don't even have to look anymore. Red, black, red. And now I know that the last one is red, because here's the queen. Now, not only do I know it's red, but I know that it was the top red card, meaning since the 3 of clubs is here, that's got to be the 5 of hearts. Because it was, right off the bat, I knew it would either be the 3 or the 5, and since the 3 already came up, that's the 5 of hearts. And there you have it. That's the way to do this. So really quickly, I'm going to explain the equivoke or magician's choice, as some people refer to it. In this case, it's very simple because it doesn't really matter which of the 2 packets they want to use. In fact, if you don't want to reveal the last card, they can pick either packet. But anyways, in recent years, I've always forced the packet of which the top card I'm going to know, and I've taken the other one. Anyways, let's go over the equivoke. For more work on equivoke and how it's supposed to be done, check out Max Maven's work. I think he's like the leading expert of equivoke. So at this point, I've split the packet into 2 piles of 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. At this point, I know that, I don't know yet what that top card is, but at the end of this routine, I'll be able to know what that is because the other one will have come up somewhere. Because that's one of 2 cards. You guys probably understand that at this point. So I need to force this packet. Of course, if they take this, I'll still be able to know the colors, but I won't know what the last card is, so it's not as strong. I need to force this packet. And I do this very simply. It's a very quick thing. I go, okay, we only really need one of these 2 packets, so put your hand on either pack. And I see where their hand is going because I put them quite far apart. So I go, put your hand on either pack. And as they're going towards it, I finish the sentence. So I go, put your hand on either pack, great, and take it in your hands. Or put your hand on either pack and hand it to me. And that's it, that's all it is. So we only really need one of these 2 packets, so put your hand on one of these packs, and good, keep it with you. Or we only really need one of these 2 packets, so put your hand on one of them and hand it to me. And that's it. So suppose, I'll show you what that looks like in real time. So I'd be sitting here and the packets are here and I need to force this one. So I say, okay, I'm going to split this into 2 because there's 2 of us, and I want you to put your hand on either one of these packets to further randomize this. And if their hand goes here, I go, and good, pick it up and keep it in your hands. And you could have just as easily picked this packet, and now I could show because it's thoroughly shuffled. And you mix these cards. So I spread, I keep going. Contrary to that, if they put their hand over here, I go, so we only really need one of these 2 packets, so put your hand on one of these packets and hand it to me. So as you can see, you mix these so the entire deck is well mixed. Boom. And now I could start, same thing. So that's essentially both routes. Put your hand on one packet, lead to them with ending up with that packet in their hands, and you placing this one back over here. Okay, so now I'm going to discuss with you several ways to make it so that the spectator cuts 26. Now remember, this is one of those hit or miss things. You can increase the number of hits you get, but if you don't, it's not a big deal, because the main effect here is not that the spectator cuts 26. The main effect is that you know all the colors and you know the last card. So in order to do the spectator cuts 26, you probably don't want to do the whole preparation in front of them. You want to do it a little bit before, or maybe as you're casually sitting there. The cards are separated red or black. You do the first part of it where you pharaoh shuffle. So just walk to that part again. You do a pharaoh shuffle. You cut to the middle like this. And at this point, I check. I remember the 3 of diamonds. I remember the 6 of clubs. I check the top and bottom. They're alternating. Everything's good. At this point, I count to 26 cards and remember the 27th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Right there. 27th card is the 8 of diamonds. I remember that. Now, I could go into the trick, or I could put this in my box. That's the preparation, which takes like 20 seconds. And I'm ready to go. All I remember is the 8 of diamonds. So at this point, I take the deck out. Now, before I explain what I do now, let me just say some stuff I played around with. I played around with, at this point, crimping the 8 of diamonds and just hoping that the spectator cuts to the crimp. That's an option. I just feel like it takes away from the borrowed deck kind of impromptu aspect of this. That's what I like most about this. So I opted to not crimp. I tried that for a little bit, didn't really work for me. So at this point, this is something you could do quickly, and then you could count 26 quickly. If some of you are fast at counting cards, you could do the shuffle, and then as you're showing them that it's mixed, in addition to remembering the 3 and the 6, you could count the 26 cards. It's a little bit too much, but if you're comfortable with that, you could count the 26 cards right in front of them as well. All I know is I remember the 27th card, 8 of diamonds. So at this point, when I tell them, the deck is mixed, but you're going to mix it a little bit more in just a second, I see the 8 of diamonds, I get a pinky break. And at this point, all I'm going to do is I'm going to say to them, I want you to intuitively cut. And when I say intuitively, it forces them to do it quick. I say just reach over and cut. And when they reach over and cut, all I do is I have my pinky break under the 8 of diamonds, I just pop it up. It's hard to show it on this angle. I'll turn my body so you can see a little more. So as soon as they come to cut the deck, I say cut it about in the middle. As soon as they reach over, I just pop that portion up with my pinky, and I just literally put that portion into their hands. So they don't have much of a choice but to cut the 8 of diamonds. I would say that this works 9 out of 10 times, like probably actually 99 out of 100 times. It works a lot. You'd be surprised. And they don't feel it. They just reach over and they cut because it's easy to grab it. Here's the interesting thing. If they don't cut there, they don't cut deeper. They rarely cut deeper because your pinky's blocking it. Sometimes they'll cut thinner. So if they do miss this, almost 100% of the time, it's because they cut a little bit thinner. So suppose that happens. Suppose they cut thinner. So best case scenario, they reach over, they cut, you see the 8 of diamonds, you're very happy, but don't act happy because then that gives it away. It's like, yes, don't do that because then they'll know that something's up. So what you might want to do is just sort of keep your composure. So they cut and you just trying to keep your composure and you go. Now see, I said intuitively, but the intuition is a powerful thing. See right there, you're not a card expert, but you cut exactly 26 cards and you count it, and that's very impressive. Suppose they're short a few cards. Suppose they cut and they do something like this. You look here and you've got 2 more. So they've got 24 cards. Hope you follow. 26 minus 2 is 24. If you don't know that, you shouldn't watch magic tutorials, you should watch math tutorials. Super helpful. So 24 cards over here. And at this point I have, again, 2 choices. Either I could count these and do a false count, like a biddle count, for those of you who know what that is. But again, way too complicated. All you could do is this. You could say, since this is a test on intuition, my heightened intuition can just sense how many cards you have. And you're close to 26, you're a few short, you've got 24 cards, and then you count them. So they didn't get half, but you still demonstrated your intuition knowing how many cards they have. It's an extra effect. So now they count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. That's one effect. Then they mix. Second effect is you know all the colors. Third effect, you know the final card. And that's just a great build-up, great routine. So yeah, again, know the 27th card, keep the pinky break, put it in their hands. If they get it, amazing. Their intuition allowed them to cut 26. If they don't, it's not a big deal. Your intuition allowed you to know how many they have. And if you want to skip that process altogether, that's fine too. Makes the whole thing extremely impromptu. Okay guys, so with this effect, I want to give you guys a really quick tip, and this is good, I think, of all mentalism effects. There's a trap that mentalists fall into a lot of the time, and I will admit I have often fallen into this trap, and I sometimes think I still do. And the trap is this: you need to know what you're trying to convince them that you're capable of doing, and that's the effect has to represent that. So here, if I'm going for an intuitive thing, they could have the cards face down and they could turn it down. And I say red and it's red and it's black. It's intuitive. My intuition is allowing me to know that. But I can't say I'm going to present a mind reading thing. I'm going to read your mind. I can't do that because if they haven't looked at the card themselves, I'm not reading their mind. So in mentalism, you have to clarify what it is you're trying to present, what it is you're trying to convince your audience that you have the ability to do. If you want to present this as a mind reading thing, that's perfectly fine. Just have them look at the card each time. So it's the same thing. You distribute the 10 packs, you say hold it in your hands, and I'm going to try to read your thoughts, just to try to get an impression of whether you're thinking red or black by picking up on your subtle body language cues. So say pick up the top card, look at it, think red or black. It's red. Pick up the next one, it's red again. Pick up the next one, look at it, concentrate, it's black. And you keep doing it, and at the end you go, let's try to go a little further. I'm going to try to get not just the color, but the suit and the value as well. It's black, look at it, think of it. Now if you have all this mind dream, like imagine it over here and just sort of all this kind of stuff. It's a spade, and then you reveal, think of it in your mind, repeat it, scream it in your mind, the 7 of spades. Just remember what it is, what you want to convince them that you could do, and what it would look like if you can really do that. Because it could get very confusing if you go, okay, I'm going to read your mind. Now, red, red, black, 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 but you didn't read their mind because it was never there. Similarly, if you go, I'm going to use my intuition, and then they look at it and you go red, black, that's not really an intuitive thing. You're reading their body language, you're reading their mind. So, with all mentalism effects, and I think this is a great tip, decide what is it you're trying to convince them that you can do, and then make the presentation adapt to that. So in this case, it could either be you're reading their minds or using your intuition. So guys, Out of My Mind is a great effect that I really enjoy doing, and I hope that you guys have found value in this, and that you realize that, you know, it's not very often that you can just borrow a deck and do something pretty awesome that gets a good impact out of people, and this is one of those rare things. So practice it, practice the presentation more than the technique, because the technique's pretty simple, and you know, just have it in your repertoire, have it in your back pocket. It's such a feel-good thing, because you know, anytime, anywhere, you just borrow a deck and boom, you can do this. So next time, you know, you're strapped in this area where there's nothing except for a deck of cards, and someone holds a gun to you and says, you know, amaze me, fine man, I'm a Theory 11 guy, I got this. So you just take the deck, you do this, and boom, life saved.